Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We're going to start off with Scott this hour in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I work for a company that I get 10% of my salary, the ability to purchase company stock. The stock has been very, very fruitful over the 10 years that I've worked for the company. The way our stock purchase works is that we get to purchase the 10% of our salary twice a year in a 6-month period at 15% below the lowest point in that 6-month period. So the sometimes when I get the stock at the 6 months, it can be $50 a share better than the market value at the time. When I read Baby Steps Millionaire and The Money Makeover, you talk more about putting your retirement into mutual funds. I've kind of considered that 10% as being my part of my retirement. I take 16% out of my total salary with 6% in a 401k that my company matches. And then the other 10% is in company stock. And the stock has done nothing but gain in the 9 years that I've been there, and some big jumps as well. So do I leave that in there and consider that still 10% of my retirement? Or do I switch it like you talk about in The Money Makeover to mutual funds?
Well, congratulations. Sounds like you've hit a home run, man. It feels kind of good. And so, your theory has not been stress tested yet. And that'll come along. Okay. First, let me give you a couple observations first. Number one, your company stock purchase plan is no different than most of them. They're almost all exactly what you described. 15% below, lowest of the 6-month average, whatever. Okay. And so it's not like you're getting some huge discount that other people that that work for a publicly traded company with stock options don't get. It's almost always exactly what you outlined. Very, very similar, if not. So it's good, but it's not the biggest deal. In most cases, if you look at a 52-week high, 52-week low on the charts, you will see a move of most stocks more than 15% up or down. And so that 15% discount can, as you said, because it's down, cause a great purchase price, but it also can cause, it can evaporate in about an eye blink, just because of the normal volatility of stock. Observation number one. Observation number two, single stocks are more risky than mutual funds.
Okay.
Period. No exceptions. Because you're violating the diversification rule of, you got all your eggs in one basket, or at least that number of eggs are all in that one basket. So you're taking more risk. Even though you've had the benefit of this company doing very well, it's gone up, gone up, gone up. I'm happy for you. I'm glad it went up. I don't want you to have hard times. But that can gloss over the fact that you're taking risk because you haven't had a loss. You've not anything that scared you, that woke you up and went, oh, this is risky. So what we tell folks to do, our standard rule of thumb, is don't put more than 10% of your net worth in single stocks. And you currently have more than that with the formula you're giving me.
Okay.
Okay, so the example of that always comes back to my mind was many years ago. I was coaching a lady that had worked for Procter & Gamble, which is a fine company. She had $800,000 in her 401k. It was all in company stock. It went in half the year she retired.
So none of my 401k is in, I work for Apple, is in Apple stock.
Jesus, that's a wonderful stock, yeah. The
stock purchase is a total separate deal. And to be honest with you, Dave, I haven't I'm recently divorced a couple of years, and I was lucky to get out and be debt free. And I never really read your books because I didn't have any debt. But after watching you with Robert Morris, I downloaded the first book and then went to the second book, and it really motivated me to kind of get my act together.
Yeah. So Ecclesiastes says, "Spread your portions to 7, yes to 8, for disaster may come upon the land." And Apple is about as wonderful a single stock story as there is on the planet.
Yeah.
It's doubled. It's doubled.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Over the 10 years.
Wonderful.
I did have to get rid of some of it.
They have more money than
in
Egypt.
My divorce.
They really do.
I don't know what.
They actually have more cash than Egypt. It's an incredible company.
Hey, you mentioned you read the first 2 books and that you originally had kind of stayed away because you weren't in debt, but I recommend you pick up Baby Step Millionaires.
Maybe That's what he's talking about.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, I did. I read both of the books. I've actually listened to probably 3 times each.
Well, thank you. So the whole question is, how much risk do you want to take? And I think we can all stand up and cheer and say Apple has done a wonderful job. Of all the single stocks out there, it's the one that might be the most tempting. It is an unbelievable story. But I'm just risk averse enough to say, okay, I'm going with the scripture says, spread my portions to 7, yes to 8. I don't want my whole deal on one company. And you don't have your whole deal, but you got a lot of it. And so I'm probably going to be a little less Apple prone if I'm you. If I was ever going to do what you're doing, it would be that company. Oh my God, it's wonderful. Okay. So, if you want to keep doing it, keep doing it. I just want you to hear loud. I want you to feel that you're violating the diversification principle, and that does nothing but increase risk inherently in that. One bad iPhone launch, one bad lawsuit over a tablet or whatever. I don't know what can happen. I mean, I have no idea what can happen, but they get cancel cultured. I don't know how this works, but whatever it is, I just don't want, it's not in your control. You're one of a bazillion employees. You don't control this stock. And so I wouldn't be as heavy in it as you are, but I will acquiesce and say if I was ever going to be, right. Good Lord, the financial regardless of what you think of the products or the people or anything else, the financials on that company are blistering good.
Yeah, that's a great position to be in.
It's
good
crazy.
Company. Yeah.
It's crazy how much cash they have. It's mind-blowing. But aside from that, I'm sitting here saying how much I'm a fanboy of their stock, and I don't own a single share. That says I follow the principles. I don't buy single stocks at all, and if I was going to, it wouldn't be more than 10% of my net worth. Don't it? Just, you can do what you want to do, but I'm not doing it. Thanks for the call. This is the Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. If you are in the Chicken Little camp, where you think the sky is falling, you're in the right place. We sell helmets. We're here to help. It's not falling. The apocalypse is not here. The housing market's not going to crash. This is not 2008. And even if it was, you would survive it. I did. And many others did. I know it's not what you're hearing on the news because there's a lot of politics underlying a lot of news reports, like all of them. One side or the other, they're trying to trump up or drum up or dumb down or whatever it is they do. So clickbait's in the headlines. You're going to die! You're not. Not from that anyway. You got to look at the facts. Most of what's happening is simple supply and demand. There's a huge spike in home buying demand in the last couple of years. There weren't enough houses. Prices go up. Housing slows down. Demand slows down. Prices even out. They quit going up so fast. If there's a whole lot less demand, like if nobody's buying houses and there's an oversupply of inventory, then prices will go down. However, inventory is 1/4 of what it was in 2008, and demand is currently 4x. So there would have to be a dramatic shift for prices to go down. Calm down. If you haven't seen it, we want you to watch it. You can watch the replay of the RamseySolutions.com event that Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and I did about the real estate market, the real estate reality check. RamseySolutions.com/reality check. It is completely free. It's about an hour. No, it's exactly an hour long. I actually ended up hitting the clock, oddly enough, and which with a live stream you don't have to do, but I did it anyway. So there you go. They were airing it on TBN, and it helped TBN to hit the clock. I told them, I'm not sure if we'll hit the clock or not, but we'll try. And then I had a clock up there, and I'm a radio guy. I just ended up hitting it.
That's impressive.
Well, I don't know. It might be somewhat accidental, but like we ran out of stuff to say or something like that. But if we had a lot more to say, we'd have kept yakking. But I think we had said it. So there you go. Jump in here. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Beth from Michigan emails in a question. Does a life insurance policy end when the term is over, or can I renew it indefinitely? If I renew, will the price go up?
Ooh, good question. We definitely recommend term life insurance. Usually you establish that on the front end, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year term. And typically, I believe, you correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, that you have to renew. If you finish that term, you got to go through the medical underwriting again just to make sure that you're in good health and to get a new term. Most
term is renewable. You can buy what's called renewable term, and some of that is renewable without medical. Some of it will require medical, depending on what it is, how expensive it is. But if you have a 5-year term, basically the policy is for a term of 5 years. It ends in 5 years, and you will be older in 5 years, so the price will go up because you're older. And the older you are, statistically, the more likely you are to die. So life insurance goes up as you get older. And so if you have an ART, an annual renewable term, it goes up every year because you get older every year. We recommend 15 to 20-year level term insurance because what they've done is they've averaged out the number of times people drop a policy, buy a policy, don't renew a policy, all that kind of stuff. And a 20-year level term is cheaper than the average of 20 years of annual renewable term. Okay? You would think that, because annual renewable term is much cheaper at the front end, but you would think it'd be right in the middle for 20 years. If you took a 20-year graph and it goes up every year for 20 years, right in the middle would be the 20-year average, right? And so it would average out exactly the same. No, it's cheaper for the insurance company to cover you, and they pass that savings on. So the cheapest way to buy life insurance is a 15 or 20-year level term policy. Now, if you only need the policy for 5 years, for instance, we were building a $25 million building next door, okay? And we're about halfway through that building, and my wife goes, what if you die? Which she does ever so often. What if you die? And so we went and bought a 5-year, $10 million policy. We had the money, but she wanted to make sure that building didn't burden her little self. with the other stuff. She didn't want any of the other stuff that we'd laid out messed with because of that building. And so so that was a business reason to buy a shorter term. But in most family situations, you're trying to get the kids grown and gone, get the house paid off in 15 years, and you're trying to build some wealth. So in 15 years, you become an everyday millionaire, your house is paid off, and the kids are grown and gone in 20 years or 15 years, right? Like you got little ones, what age?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. So 20 years from today, you have a 21 and 23-year-old. Something happens, they'll be okay. They can make it. They can make it. You'll have enough money for them to finish out college. So a 20-year will be just fine for you. 15 could leave you a little bit shaky. Right? But you don't need a 30 because you don't need to cover your family for a 31-year-old being at home because they need to leave.
Right.
You know, so there's that, right? So that's what we're doing. And so it gets the kids in and out of the grown and out of the house, which is that way the spouse that's left behind is taken care of. And it doesn't take as much because you don't have any kids to raise. Right now, you're at the highest point of insurance need you'll ever have in your whole life.
Right.
At your point. At me, I'm at the lowest point. No responsibilities and a big pile of money. There you go. I mean, so I'm at the lowest point, right? And so Sharon's perfectly fine. We don't need term life insurance, but a term is for a term. And that's what we recommend, 15 to 20. Go to ZanderInsurance.com, ZANDER. ZanderInsurance.com. They're an independent agent. They'll shop a bazillion of these term companies, get you the best deal on a 15 or a 20. You got a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, you need a 15-year policy. You don't need a 20.
Right. And the goal is after that 15 to 20 years is that you're basically self-insured, right? Like you've got enough in your account that if anything happens, your spouse is taken care of and it's not an emergency.
Yeah, 20 years from today, something happens to your husband, something happens to you. The house is paid for because you're on a 15-year mortgage or less.
Right.
Okay. The kids are grown and gone. Almost no liability there.
Right.
Okay. Financial liability. Okay. And you've been investing in your 401k for 15 years, so you got 700, 800 grand. So if you die at 50 years old, and the kids are grown and gone, everything's paid off, and there's a pile of money, you become self-insured by getting out of debt and investing. And so you've done away with your permanent need for insurance. You need permanent insurance. The only people say that are people that sell that crap. The only permanent need for insurance is your agent's need for a commission. They always have that. So we want you to get 15 to 20-year level term. It's what I had when my kids were little. It's what you've got now, I'm sure. And it fits with your stage of life and what's going on, and that's what you look for. But term insurance is for a term. If it's 1 year term, it's 1, 5, 5, 10, 10. Renewable, not renewable. Almost all term insurance nowadays is renewable. The only question is whether a medical is needed, and it all will go up upon the renewal. So if you keep a 20-year level term and then you want to renew it, it's probably going to be cheaper to actually go buy a new policy.
That was going to be my question. Is it better to just get a new policy at that point, or?
Because what they had to do is they had to estimate the rate 20 years ago when they wrote the thing, and the rates every year have come down. And so it's probably a higher rate than a brand new policy because every year they've adjusted the actuarial tables, and term life insurance has been progressively, over 30 years of doing this show, it's gotten cheaper. Not every single year, but over time it's gotten cheaper because people are living longer. They're healthier in general. I mean, I know we can argue about that, but I mean, overall, the average death age is older. And the tables they were using 30 years ago to write these things were from the 40s and 50s. And now they're using tables from the 70s, 80s, 90s. And so you got a lot different situation.
Do you have any recommendations or encouragement for somebody who has a pre-existing condition or has had some medical history?
Call Zander and make sure that your assumption that it's going to mess up your insurance is true. Okay? Because a lot of stuff that they wouldn't cover, you couldn't get an insurance cover somebody that was 5 years clean of cancer. You couldn't get it 30 years ago. Now you can get it.
That's
okay,
awesome.
That kind of thing. So sometimes people think things that'll keep them from getting coverage. Make sure you actually can't get coverage, and then deal with that situation. But you'd be amazed the number of people they will cover now and in what situations. Two biggest problems you got out there right now on getting covered is smoking and obesity. And these are like rampant, and that messes you up, messes up your rate big time, double, triple as much. This is the Ramsey Show. I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Open phones this hour. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Nate and Jamie are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Dave, this is great.
We are so honored to have you. Where do you live?
Hudsonville, Michigan.
And what is that near?
It's just outside of your favorite city, Grand Rapids.
I love Grand Rapids. You're right. Very cool. Well, good to have you guys visit Nashville.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And how much debt have you paid off?
We paid off $118,000.
Woohoo! And how long did this take?
It took us 24 and a half months.
24 months. Love it. A solid 2 years. And your range of income during that time?
80 to 128,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm in sales.
Mm-hmm.
I take care of adults with severe mental disabilities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. It's so good to have y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So what kind of debt was this $118,000?
Dave, we paid off the house.
No way!
Did it.
Looking at weird people. Normal is broke and mortgaged to the hilt, and you two, you're weird. You are paid off, baby.
Done.
Wow, and they're young. How old
That's
are you
impressive.
guys?
I'm 33.
I'm 31.
Oh my God! And a paid for house. You're super weird.
Thank you.
I like it. So, how much is this house worth?
It's about $360.
I love it. How much you got in retirement?
About $125.
All right, man. Half a millionaire. On your way to being baby steps millionaires.
Hopefully by 40. Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's the plan.
Beautiful. You're right on track. Very well done. All right. Tell us a story. What happened 2 years ago, and how'd you get connected to all this Ramsey stuff?
Yeah, so really this all started in high school. My high school had a financial peace course that I took. So shout out Mrs. Dawson. That kind of lit the fire back in the day.
Oh, Mrs. Dawson.
Yep,
Look what you did.
Yep. It kind of lit the fire, but as a high school kid, you really don't take all that to heart so much. But it kind of got me Dave-ish, right? So my wife and I, we kind of stayed in minimal debt, I would say. But then 2 years ago, I kept getting emails from my mortgage provider being like, hey, do you want to refinance? Do you want to refinance? So I actually sat down and looked at the numbers and realized how little we've paid off on our mortgage in the 5 years we were there. And I was shocked. Like, this is ridiculous. We've paid off $7,000 over 5 years. So I started looking at what we make and what we owe. And I came home. I'm like, we can do this in 3 years. Let's just knock this out. And then it just becomes more and more infectious. I got plugged into the podcast. I would go on walks every day. I'd listen to you for hours, just get super excited at the debt-free screams. And just got pumped, and here we are.
Jamie, sounds like you developed a problem.
You know, a little bit, but when you're passionate about it, you just keep going. So
There he goes.
Yep,
There he goes
exactly.
again.
That's impressive, guys. $118,000 in 24 months. That is quick.
Yeah.
What kind of things did y'all do to get out of debt?
So the big thing for me is I picked up side jobs. There's so much opportunity out there right now for people to make more money. I did DoorDash. I worked for a buddy who does fireworks. I helped him do professional fireworks shows. I donated plasma. Really, there's so much opportunity out there just to go make a little extra money. And we were bringing in an extra $1,000, $1,500 a week just in side jobs.
Wow.
And we did that for about a year. The last year, once we found out we were pregnant with our little Laney over there, we really went ham for the final 8 to 9 months. And
you want to bring her home to a paid-for house.
You
Yeah.
betcha. You betcha.
Yep. And I just picked up, I mean, at the beginning of COVID, when no one was working, I'm in healthcare, so I worked a lot of extra hours, like 50, 60 hours a week, and just my whole paychecks would go straight toward the principal. And once I found out,
you were helping people when they were the scaredest of their lives.
Exactly. Once I found out I was pregnant, I did cut back a little bit, but for the most part, just worked many, many hours.
Yep. And all the government inflation checks that they sent us during COVID, we just put those right toward the mortgage,
Got
right?
a lot of bonuses.
Here you go, Countrywide. Yeah. I like it.
Throwing it right at it. Get rid of it.
Way to go, you guys.
Wow.
Y'all are weird. But you're completely free.
We are.
33 years old and no payments in no.
It's an amazing feeling. It really is.
Yep.
It hits me at these little weird moments, just like, man, this is mine. I'm here with my family and my friends and my kid, and like, it's just a sense of peace that I didn't know was possible. It really is.
You didn't even know it was missing.
Nope.
It's so subtle and normalized in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you're free, you just look around and go, these poor people, they don't know. The rest of them
He mentions that all the time.
just don't know. They don't know. You want to grab them and go, no. Well, you get the opportunity to scream you're debt free. That'll wake up a couple of them, hopefully. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Like I said, for us, it was work. There's so much opportunity now, especially now that there's all this
What was your best job? The one that made the most money?
Door dashing, delivering food. I would average.
How much could you make door dashing?
I was
in a
averaging
week?
$25 to $30 an hour doing that, and I would do that most nights and on the weekend. So there was weeks I would pull in over $1,000 doing just that.
That's impressive, and that's cool that it's like something anybody could do. So there's no excuse.
It's you're not. It's not a second job per se. It's something you can
turn it on, turn it off.
You can turn it on and turn it off. Yep.
Yeah.
But now that we're done with all that, once the baby came and the house was paid off, it's like, nope, we're just going to go back to work on our 40-hour jobs and just enjoy life, enjoy each other.
You got a lot of time now.
It's amazing.
Oh my God.
You figure out what to do with your free time now.
It's great.
Who are your biggest cheerleaders in the process?
For me, it's my best friend Kyle over there. He's one who I share all of life with, and I think he probably knows more about my finances than I do. But it was great to have him along on the journey, and he could come along with us today.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fun that he made it down. That's neat.
Yeah, great job to you too, Kyle.
Yeah, excellent work. Well, you guys are absolutely incredible. You're an inspiration, man. I mean,
Thank you.
This can be done. Wow.
What a legacy to leave your baby too. Y'all are going to have so much freedom moving forward, and it's just, what a sigh of relief to have nothing to worry about. No financial stress. You don't owe anything to anyone. That's just a beautiful way to step forward.
Yep, and I want to be able to take my daughter on trips and be able to see the world so she can make her worldview on what the world really is, right? Instead of who's screaming the loudest on Twitter, who's screaming the loudest on Facebook. If she can see different cultures, meet different people, and build that worldview from her actual personal experience based on what she sees from social media, I think that's what really excites me about this, that we can be free and we can go live and we can go do things and not have to worry about how's that mortgage going to get paid. It's just, it's an amazing feeling.
And she'll probably discover what the rest of us have, that whoever's screaming the loudest usually has the least to say. Yeah. Wow. That's great. You guys are incredible. Very, very, very well done. This is beautiful. Fabulous
You
job.
mentioned a trip. Do you have anything planned?
Not yet. She's a little young.
Yeah.
We're hoping when she's a little older, maybe go to Mexico or Europe or wherever, really.
That's awesome.
Anywhere you want to go?
Anywhere we want to go.
Don't have a payment in the world.
No.
Yeah. There's a lot of the financial piece. It always works. Now, you connected to Ramsey, you said, through the podcast only, or?
Yeah, mainly the podcast. And then I did sign up for the free trial of Ramsey Plus, and we took the class there just to kind of refresh it.
So you've been through financial piece.
Yes.
Well, you were high school, you said. That's
Yes.
right. Okay.
Yep. It was kind of a slacker course at the time, but I'm glad I took it. It really planted that. Nothing against you, Dave, but I planted that seed.
I'm a slacker course.
But it planted that seed as a high school kid that really just stayed with me for the past 20 years, and I'm so thankful that I did take the time to take that course. It really changed the whole projection of our lives.
Well, what it did is it made you wonder if you could be debt free, and most people don't even wonder about it. And later on, you went, wait a minute, I think there was a guy said I could do that. Yeah. The funny ones are the tweets from the kids in the class in high school. I read one this morning. It's like, Coach so-and-so don't do nothing. All he does is turn on these dadgum Dave Ramsey videos and walks out of the room. My real teacher's a video. It's like hilarious. But
I think there needs to be more of that in high school. Like, kids aren't taught that. They get into the real world with college, like with you, Christina. They get into the real world and they just don't understand what it means and what it all takes to pay these debts off and these loans. And I had that seed planted in me then, so I was fortunate enough to graduate college debt-free. She graduated mainly debt-free, so we started off on a good a good forward step and just kept going.
Hats off to our foundations and personal finance crew here that puts it in high schools. 48% of the high schools in America have now taught it. So it's good stuff. All right, Nate and Jamie and Lainey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That is the next chapter in your story. Copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away, get somebody else started, and another year to Financial Peace University membership. The new videos are on there. You can give that to someone, get them started, because I'm sure people have heard you talk about this, I bet. So there you go. Nate and Jamie and Lainey, Hudsonville, Michigan, $118,000 paid off in 24 months. House and everything, they're weirdos. Making 80 to 128. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Lainey looks like she's ready to go to Mexico. This is the Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Nelson's in San Francisco. Hi, Nelson. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How do you do?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
I have to say, Dave, first of all, it's such an honor to have gotten the chance to speak to you. I shudder to think where we would be had it not been for my wife and your teachings. Thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you.
I have a quick question. Both my wife and I currently own a very small Montessori preschool here in San Francisco, and we're very fortunate. We have the wait list, and we are trying to expand. It's our first time looking for a commercial spot here, and looking for a commercial spot also means that we have to do the renovation. So I was wondering if you can give us some advice as regards to the do's and don'ts of lease negotiation, and the start of actually if we should find an architect or a designer or a contractor.
Well, are you going to try to? You're going to try to rent an existing building, you're saying, and then just redesign it for the use of the school, right?
Correct. So we have to do the flooring, the floor plan, the bathroom for the children.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, obviously, the more time you spend shopping, the more likely you are to find something that is closer to usable, that requires the least renovation. That's our best bet. Okay? If you're moving into a typical commercial setting, they're going to lease it to you and include a certain amount of TI, tenant improvements. And so...
Yes, I heard of it.
Yeah, so like we own commercial property that we lease out, and when we lease to a tenant, we'll give them so many dollars a square foot of TI for a 3-year lease, more dollars per square foot of TI for a 5-year lease. In other words, the landlord is putting up a lot of the renovation costs in the form of tenant improvements built into the lease. Now, obviously, I as the landlord, am going to recoup that out of you in rents during that time, but it's our way of investing, because a lot of small businesses, like we own some strip centers and stuff like that have a simple bay in them, and a lot of small businesses that want to rent out in that bay don't have $300,000 to renovate it. Okay, so we might put in, depending on the lease terms and whatever, I mean, we might put in $100,000 or something, but that's then built into or capitalized into the lease. We get our money back over the period of that lease, and we get rent. So it's built into it. But that's a normal carrot to dangle for a commercial landlord to draw in someone, is a certain amount of TI. And what I would be looking for is a situation where the TI will cover your renovation. And so And a lot of landlords have a contractor to do the renovation, a designer to do the renovation in their pocket in a good way. In other words, it's handy. Like I've got a guy we use in most of ours. And so if you want to do that, we'll just go, okay, so-and-so over here, he can roll in there and throw up those studs, put in the dance floor for your dance studio or whatever it is, and this is what it's going to, he runs out of bid on the restrooms the way you want them in this situation that aren't, or that way they have to be modified to fit your situation with children going to be there and so forth. And all of that added together, then we add it up and go, okay, there's the budget. Well, our TI covers all but $20,000 of that, and you got to come up with that extra 20, and we cover the first whatever, as the landlord. And that's really the way you get into the lease. But again, if I've got something there okay, I have a daycare in one of ours, okay? And if that daycare were to move out and you were to move in, there wouldn't be a lot of retro. As a matter of fact, if you really wanted to tough it out, you could probably just move in, and what I would have put up as TI, I can give you as discounted rent then, because I don't have to write those checks for your construction to get you as a tenant, so I'll just give you some discounted rent as a result. And that's not unusual. So I'm really, in your case, looking for something more like that than I am this massive, glorious glass box somewhere that you start from scratch and have to draw up and build every little element of it, because that gets really expensive.
Dave, what's the best way to search for a commercial property to rent? Is it through a traditional real estate agent? Are there certain people that can help you, a certain place to go?
A commercial real estate agent. And again, they specialize. A lot of them make their living on leases just like this. And they get paid by the landlord a percentage of the lease commission, when the lease is built out. And so we'll pay, if a real estate agent brings us as the landlord a tenant, we do the tenant improvement, we pay them. So we get a lot of out of pocket to move somebody in there in a lot of cases. But there are commercial agents that don't do any houses, and all they do is make their living leasing space.
Okay.
And it's a pretty good living if they're in a situation like, he's out in San Francisco. That's some high dollar stuff. And, if you're working that, they may be exclusively that. They may not sell property at all. They may only work leases. It's not unusual at all in a market that size to find people that make their whole living doing that in a very specialized way. But what you've got to do, you got to go out there and kick the tires and turn over the rocks and find, be shopping and calling and messing around, poking around, to find the thing that's the best fit. Because if you just go to the gleaming, shiny glass box and go from ground up, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be very hard to make the move. And you're trying to expand your business at the same time, trying to make a bigger school. So very, very, very difficult. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Linda's in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. We love your show and your people and you and all that.
Thank you, ma'am. How can we help?
Okay, just curious. What percentage should your residential rent be of your income if you're 75 with no debt and in good health for 75?
Score. Good for you.
Still living.
Still kicking around.
Yeah, right. Just, with the way the rents might be going up and all that.
Oh, they are going up.
Well, I know you used to always say like 25%.
Exactly.
Yeah, we usually recommend that you don't spend more than 25% of your take-home pay on housing, just that you still have that flexibility in your budget to do other things and not be strapped.
Yeah. And why have you not bought something?
Well, I have that, but with my age, I wanted to get, just down to something simple, apartment.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you get down to something simple, a condo that you own?
Well, that's a thought. That's a thought.
Do you what's your net worth?
Around $1 million.
Good for you. Good for you.
Good job, Linda.
Are you selling a house or what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, how much are you getting out of the house?
Not much.
Okay. So you'd have to use some of your $1 million to buy a condo. What can you buy a decent little one-bedroom condo that you would have rented anyway in Omaha for?
I don't know. I really haven't looked at that. I was just figuring what percentage of income.
Mm-hmm.
And the income fluctuates. But
well, here's the problem, okay? Statistically, since you're 75 and in such good shape, you're probably going to make 90.
Oh.
And that's 15 years of rent increases.
Yeah.
And your largest item, all of us in our budget, is housing in most cases. And if your largest item's going up every year for 15 years, I mean, think back 15 years when you were 60.
Oh, yeah.
What rents were.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I don't want that to happen to you in your last 15, 20 years or whatever it is you got. So that's why I'm saying if you buy a little condo, you're locking it in, no more cost increases.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You're free. You're the only thing that's going to increase your HOAs will go up your taxes, insurance, that kind of stuff. You can't keep that from happening, but the actual monthly rent is going to increase when you are a renter. So long term renting is, I mean, that's assuming you're going to make it that long, but you sound like you're doing pretty good.
Well, and with a net worth of $1 million, she could buy it in cash too.
Yeah, buy $150,000, $200,000 little condo in Omaha. You'd be in pretty good shape. And that's pretty simple, and you've locked in your costs that way. That's what I think about. This is the Ramsey Show.
Have you been inspired to make a change with your money? Want to know where to start? Take our 3-minute money quiz to get a plan you can follow. Go to RamseySolutions.com and search for Get Started to get a plan for your money.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show. Where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thanks for jumping in, America. We're glad you're here. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author. Ramsey Personality is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Catherine's in Ocala, Florida. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I have a question. My husband is currently enrolled for fall semester down at UCS, and we are trying to cash flow college because that is the one thing that we haven't taken debt out on is a student loan. So we're trying to continue that. And my question is, would it be a smart decision, wise decision, however you want to state it, to sell our house and rent for a couple months to get the equity out of our house, pay off all of our debt, and be able to cash flow all of his college?
How much do you owe on your house right now, and what's your monthly payment?
We owe $111,000 on our house, and our monthly payment right now, with homeowners insurance and all that stuff, is $1,100.
Okay. And how much is the house worth?
The house is worth right now. Comps in the area are going for $285.
I mean, $1,100 a month is a good payment. If you were going to rent somewhere, how much do you think rent's going to be?
It would be roughly right now we're seeing about $1,600 a month. But the only reason why we thought about doing the renting was because then all of our credit cards would be paid off, our cars would be paid off, everything. So then it would actually lower our monthly expenses in that area.
How much debt on those things?
Total is $82,000.
Okay. And what do you owe on your cars each?
You won't be happy. So one is $50,000, and then the other one we owe $12,000.
Okay. And what's your husband studying?
Engineering.
Okay.
We have 4 semesters left.
4 semesters of engineering left. And what do you make?
I right now make right at 60 a year. He works full time and goes to school full time. I work full time. I am a night shift nurse.
So the only question is, because you've got all these payments, you can't pay for tuition. That's what's jamming you up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So what if I said you're selling the wrong thing?
What do you mean?
Well, a $50,000 car does not fit in this equation.
Correct.
So sell the stupid thing. I mean, your payment's, what, $900?
It's almost as much as your house payment.
What is
Not
it?
quite. But,
$800.
Yeah, it's 70. Okay. The only reason why we're not is because we would then be upside down with it.
Whoop-de-doop-de. $770 a month will put you through school. Go buy a $2,000 car, and let's, clean out your garage, have a garage sale, and start knocking out some of these credit cards. But you have a car problem, is all you've got.
Mm-hmm.
How much could you sell that car for?
How much could I sell it for? Mm-hmm. Right now it's going for about $45,000.
Who said?
Kelly Blue Book.
For trade-in?
No, for private sale.
Okay, so you're $5,000 upside down.
Yes.
Yeah, so run down to the credit union and get you a $7,000 loan, buy you a $2,000 car, and get rid of $50,000 worth of car payments.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you're trading your home for this stupid car. Bad trade.
I think the only reason why we'd be willing to do it.
Listen, you do whatever you want to do, but I just told you what to do.
No, I understand. Yeah.
You're gonna do whatever you want to do, but this is what I mean. There's no question. The fly in the ointment here is not your house. The fly in the ointment is not your income. The fly in the ointment, the thing that stands out when you give us your situation, that just stands out like a sore thumb, is this ridiculous car, and you are so in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you're willing to sell your home and move your children for this stupid butt car. That's what it comes down to. You need to get rid of the stupid butt car.
Well, if you do that, you've got about $30,000 left, which that's very doable to pay that off.
Well, you don't even have to worry about it. I mean, you just cash flow that and basically don't even reduce it. Just pay minimum payments on everything. Get your butt on a really tight beans and rice budget. Get husband through 4 only semesters left. And everybody work extra jobs, no vacations, quit eating out. Tighten down your dadgum budget. You got an $1,100 house payment. You can make it on that. And you're going to be in great shape. You're going to come out of this thing. But, there's one thing standing in your way. I might even sell the other one.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of car. And then he's going to be an engineer after all that. So it's like he's going to have an engineering job. She makes $60,000. Like, y'all are going to be...
And he's working full time.
Right.
They got the money. You got the money to do this. No, you're looking for an easy way out. Don't do it. Please don't do it. You can do what you want to do, but you called here. And the problem with calling here is we're going to tell you what to do.
Right.
And we're right. That's the other thing. Keep that in mind. Yeah, maybe not. We're probably right, though. And experts on our opinion, that we are. Okay. Right. Bernie's in Sacramento. What's up, Bernie?
Just living the dream out here in amazing conservative California.
What? How can we help today with your illusions?
Yes. Well, I got to say I'm a big fan. I've always known of you, but my wife and I, she's really the one that got us turned on to the whole baby steps thing, and we've been following it pretty well. And
cool.
What can I say?
What's your question today?
A lot. Well, currently, we're paying off a lot of our debts, and we've paid off around $40,000 out of the $80,000 that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to make a decision on whether or not we should invest money into our property, which would help give us more of a monthly income, or put it towards the house and paying the house off sooner.
Wait a minute, what about the other debts? You need to clear the other debts before we have this discussion.
Well, no, of course. Yes.
Oh, okay. Then once you've gotten rid of the other $40,000, then do you put money into a rental property or pay off your house?
Yes.
Well, how much money are we talking about?
Well, so I live on just about 5 acres, and there's 2 kind of rundown guest houses, and we were our plan is to remodel them.
How
and
much
turn them
money
into,
are we talking about?
About $10,000 each.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would do that before I paid off my house. Get 2 rental properties engaged, but only after the $40K is gone and the emergency fund's in place. Now we're down to baby step 4, 5, 6 stuff at that point, and that's when we would do that. Hey, good question, Bernie. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. A lot of people would rather spend their weekend doing yard work than talk about insurance, even in the heat. But here's the deal. If you don't take the time to learn about insurance, you're going to always feel like you're getting ripped off, probably because you are. Around here, we think learning about money topics should be simple, and hey, here's an idea, even fun. Our new Confidence in Your Coverage 5-day video series with our friend George Camel makes learning about insurance quick and practical. You might even laugh out loud, because it is, after all, George. Every day for 5 days, Ramsey personality George Camel will walk you through a new insurance topic, unpacking everything you need to know. These are quick little videos that teach you a lot in a short period of time. At the end of the series, you'll still have the hard work, but you'll know your stuff when it comes to insurance. George Camel, check it out. It's completely free. Go to RamseySolutions.com/confidence and sign up for the Confidence in Your Coverage 5-day video series completely free. RamseySolutions.com/confidence. Dan's in New York City. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I need to know if I can afford a new truck or not. I need somebody to give me the go-ahead or knock some sense into me.
We are specialists at knocking sense. That's what we do around here. We're sense knockers. Oh, my gosh. So how much is the truck?
It is $52,000.
Cool. What kind of truck?
It is a 2019 F-150 Limited.
Sweet truck. Very nice. What do you make a year?
My wife and I, we make $242,000 a year gross before a bonus.
Cool.
Of
What's
about
your net worth?
$15,000. Our net worth is around $450,000.
Excellent. And you have the cash for the truck?
We do have the cash, but I am hesitant to drop it all. I was considering taking
Then don't buy the truck.
A 3-year loan.
Then don't buy the truck.
Got it. So financing is off the charts.
Yeah. Off the table. Here's the thing. Here's what I just did. You just emotionally, during this conversation, you emotionally decided whether you want the truck or not because you had to pay for it. See, what debt is it's a form of denial. It's like, I didn't really buy it. I just sort of rented it. You know? That's what the psychology of it is. But when you got to freaking pay for it, and you go, I have a $450,000 net worth, I make $250,000 a year, I'm going to write a $50,000 check for an F-150 19 model, which is a sweet truck.
It is.
Now you're going, yeah. Okay.
Right.
But you actually, mathematically, from the arithmetic that I heard, can afford it.
Can I give you one more curveball?
You can try.
At my next promotion at work, which would be about a year and a half from now, I get a car allowance for what's currently $500 a month.
Car allowances come whether you have payments or not.
That's a good point. I don't know the exact details. I thought I'd have to have the loan to get paid.
Nope. It's a car allowance. They allow, because they're going to run the car that you have in the dirt. Please don't drive this truck if you're on the road. Are you a road warrior?
No, I commute to an office. It's just a perk they try to give you.
Oh, okay. Right.
Do you have any debt currently?
Just the mortgage. We recently paid off our student loans in my wife's car.
That's awesome. And you have a fully funded emergency fund?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay. What's kind of your hesitation?
A little overfunded.
So, yeah, wait a minute. Let me, how do you react when I say the fact that you want to take out payments is a form of denial?
I get it. I deny myself things all the time, knowing.
No. That's not the kind of denial I'm talking about. I'm talking about you're denying that you spent money.
I think that it might be kicking the can down the line.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't register in your emotions that you freaking just spent $50,000 for a truck. That's the denial I'm talking about.
Right.
Like I'm in denial, type of denial. Not I'm willing to deny myself. I'm willing to be in discipline so that I win. That's not what I'm talking about.
Sure. No, I hear you.
You are not the spender at your house. Your wife is. You are the nerd.
I would say yes, but she's definitely on board.
Yeah, but I'm not saying she's not on board. I'm not saying she's not mature. I'm just saying tightwads have trouble with stuff like this. Spenders don't. I would have already bought the truck.
Well, I know you have the Raptor, so I figured I was calling the right guy.
And it was more than that, but I got more money too, so it's a fair ratio. But still,
yeah.
Dude, you really ought to go buy the truck, but don't do it unless you're going to pay for it, okay?
Okay. I mean, we got it. I got to do some math to see if I'm comfortable with reducing. I have a overfunded emergency fund because, like you said, I'm the nerd.
If you're going to pay cash for the truck and not damage your emergency fund, I would buy this truck in your situation.
Awesome.
But if you're not going to pay cash for it, I would never buy any kind of vehicle. I will ride a bicycle before I have a freaking car payment again. Yeah, you just don't run into wealthy people that go, I've had a car payment for 40 years. That's how I became a millionaire. It never comes up. It never in any of our studies did we find that.
Right. Well, and I mean, it's great that he's such a saver and he's aggressive with his savings, but it's hard for some people to actually spend even when they have the money.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. But he can afford it.
It's a really nice truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beast of a truck. That Ford is making a great truck. And supposedly they're all going to go electric, so you might want to get one of those gas puppies while you can. But I don't know if they're really going to pull that off or not, because that is the most popular truck in America, the 150. It's like a super sales thing for Ford. They make $1 bazillion off of it. If the bozos take the gas engine out of that thing, they're going to kill themselves. Because who do you think buys trucks? It's not Tesla drivers, people. It's rednecks, okay? Come on.
It's not Rachel and George.
Have a brain, really, seriously. Rednecks or wannabe rednecks. And none of them drive batteries. Oh, my God. So, well, who knows? We'll see how it works out. It's just a marketing thing for me. But, yeah, so know your market. Know your market. Know your market. It's not Obama. Just know your market. Oh my God. So, but
it's not Rachel and George and their Tesla.
It's not Rachel and George. Neither one of them have got an F-150. Now Rachel's husband, however, he's definitely got a truck. But so there's one in the family. At least we got that part down with Rachel anyway. Yeah. But, So here's the thing with vehicles. Let's hit it again. Our rule on a vehicle is, unless you have at least $1 million net worth, don't buy brand new because they go down in value like a rock. That's where Chevy got that, like a rock. Okay, so they go down in value so fast. All right. Rule number 2 is don't have a total of all your vehicles, boats, Sea-Doos, their sisters, motorcycles, four-wheelers, snowmobiles, cars, zero-turn lawnmowers, add up all the crap you've got with wheels and engines, and if it equals more than half your annual income, you've got too much invested in things that go down in value, because everything I just said goes down in value. And you don't get wealthy buying things that go down in value and investing the vast majority of your dadgum income in toys that go down in value. I like stuff with motors. I'm a classic redneck. Anything that goes buddin', I'm ready to go, man. But it's the worst financial thing you can do. And I know people that spent more on their stupid lawnmower than they did their car.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's definitely a redneck thing for sure.
Well, and it's not that you can never have nice cars and nice things. It's just living in a certain way now where you save and you're frugal so that someday you can have whatever car you want.
Oh, I drove an incredible car to work today. It's absolutely amazing. But it's a small percentage of my world.
Right.
That's the point. And so, but when you got $50,000 car and your husband wants an engineering degree, hello, with payments on it, you got your priorities out of order.
Right, especially when you make $60,000.
Yeah, exactly. And so, well, we don't know what he made. We never got that part. But still, that tells you that this is screwed up. And so the mantra, you want to identify what middle class looks like? When you drive up in front of a small, newish house and it has two brand new cars parked in front of it. This is people that are going to be middle class for the next decade plus unless they straighten their dadgum mess up. You drive down these streets of these new, smallish houses, they got brand new cars in front of every one of them. Like double brand new cars, like double stupid. This is people that are putting their money in the wrong stuff. This is the Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. On the debt-free stage, John and Emily are with us. Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Great. How are you?
Better than we deserve. Welcome. Where do you live?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, good. Good to have you. Thanks for being with us. And how much debt have you paid off?
We paid off $300,000 in debt.
And how long did this take?
6.5 years.
All right. And your range of income during that time?
It was about 100 to just about 200.
Okay. 100 to 200. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a senior claims adjuster for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an attorney.
Ah, good. Okay, cool. Very good. What kind of debt was all this?
260 of it was student loans.
Oh, the attorneys and the senior claims adjuster.
It was me. Let's be honest. It was me. It wasn't
I was trying to get you off the hook,
no,
but I
nice
knew.
Of you, but yeah, it was me.
It was the law school. And then she had a new car, and I had a used car.
Okay. All right. How long y'all been married?
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, but you started working on it 6.5 years ago.
Yeah, probably about 4 years ago is when he really convinced me to do it. So I would say 4 years of really, truly living it, but 6.5 total.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So tell us the story. How'd you get hooked up with this Ramsey thing and decide to do this after you got married?
Well, after we got married, in high school, I had taken it through our church. So I had the head knowledge. Must have flunked it because I went out and got a bunch of student loans and a used car. We for about a year after that, I said I need to start budgeting. I was doing a budget. I was doing Dave-ish. A pitcher of beer with the coworkers became an emergency, and it was.
Oh, it's definitely an emergency.
Oh my gosh! I think I had
a college emergency for sure.
It was It was terrible. I was not really following a budget. I knew what I was supposed to be doing, and I was not doing it. And about a year into that, I discovered I had another student loan that I wasn't aware of, and it was more than I had paid off in the year prior, even though I knew what I was supposed to be doing. And I got mad. I was mad at the situation. I was mad at myself. And I said, never again am I doing this. I've worked harder than I've ever worked in my entire life, and I've lost ground, and that's not acceptable to me. I'm done doing that. And right in the middle of that renewed enthusiasm, I asked her out on a date.
And the end of the story is you get her, but you also got her student loans with her.
Yeah,
they come with the package.
I met her. It was like our second date, and like, here's what I'm doing. I'm never again debt free. Like, this is never happening. And
she's like, I have a mortgage.
Yeah, she's like, I've got like $240,000 in student loans, and I was like, oh my gosh,
that's fun.
I think our second date, he told me, I think we could have your student loans paid off in this amount of time. I'm like, whoa, we just met, but he already had it planned out.
He's a real romantic, isn't he?
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
numbers,
come on,
numbers,
dude.
Right?
The second date, we're discussing paying off your student loans.
Right. That's how committed he was.
I'm telling you, that's kind of an informal proposal. You got to be careful when you guys doing that on a second date. But yeah. So this is a picture of beer guy too. Keep this in mind. Right? Yeah.
So what really convinced you to get on board after the second date? And you're like, whoa, like, where'd you go?
Well, we were engaged, and so I think at that point we were engaged, and he had just paid off his student loans, and so we'd moved in together at that point, and I'm like, okay, I need to get serious if we're gonna get married and go on our honeymoon and have a baby, and yeah.
So what did the journey look like? Because that's a lot of debt to pay off.
Oh, it was so long. I did mine in 2.5 years. I made her wait until I got done with mine to propose. Bought the ring. We cash flowed a wedding and a honeymoon. We have a 1-year-old or a 1.5-year-old. We cash flowed a baby. We got a second baby on the way. And we did so many things to really cut down on expenses. We went deeper and deeper. And every step of the way that you go, you think, are we prepared to sacrifice X so that we can get there this much faster? And we did that over and over and over and over again. We moved multiple times to get cheaper cost of living. We commuted for 2 years. We commuted for 3 hours each for a career opportunity.
Wow.
And I hate commuting.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh my gosh. It was hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half.
That's
and I got
worse.
this stinking jalopy that I'm hauling up and down the highway. It's uncomfortable. It's ugly. The paint's missing
I hope
off
you
of
took a
most
picture
of
it.
Yeah. Oh, we still have it.
We
still got the car.
We still do. Yeah, we do. And
planted flowers in it.
I want to scrap it, blow it up. There's some kind of like army.
Take it out to some demolition site.
Exactly.
I'm going to shoot this with exploding
Can you
ammunition.
Test the new missiles on this thing. Please just take it. Oh my Lord. And so we. It was hard to do it for that long.
Y'all just sacrificed. That's amazing.
Yeah. I could have bought a new car. Nobody would have blinked. She would have been. Anybody would have. You could have made the excuse. Anybody would have understood it.
You're very disciplined, though.
And
he is very.
Yeah. And so I test drove a car 3 times, Dave. I got this close.
Man, that's good. That's bad medicine right there. You start that. It's hard to get back. That's a slippery slope. Once you've done that, it's like,
it was that
really hard to not come home with that thing and go, look what I did.
And there was a couple of them that were really comfortable.
I bet.
But I'd look at it and I'd say, do we want to do this for this much longer? Even if we pay cash for this used car, that's going to push us back this much longer. We're doing it. And no. The answer was no.
Now that you're there and you're completely free, Emily, was it worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now that I'm at the light, I've reached the light at the end of the tunnel, absolutely, without a doubt. Yes.
But the journey's a pain in the butt.
Oh, man. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so you said that, John, you said that you took the class back in high school and it didn't completely click. It kind of like planted a seed. What would you tell the high school version of yourself, knowing what you know now?
I chose a school that I had a bunch of scholarships, like academic scholarships. I could have chosen a school that I would pay very little or free. My brother was in a similar situation, and he went to a college. He chose a college and graduated with nothing. And I could have done that. But there was this other one that was a little bit shinier. I think they had a travel abroad thing that I did for 2 weeks. So
Which changed your life.
Completely. Oh, yeah. It was worth every penny of that. Not.
That foreign beer.
Not.
Foreign beer. That's
Yeah.
it, Beer drunk abroad is a big deal.
Absolutely. And so you got to be smarter than that. I didn't really think long term about that decision.
That's a good word, because so many students feel like they've got to go to the fancy, shiny school, and in hindsight, it's usually not worth it if it results in thousands and thousands of dollars in student loans.
Rachel studied Spanish abroad. She talked us into this one semester. Ask her to speak Spanish next time you talk to her. See how far you get. I pick up more Spanish in Cabo than she picked up studying abroad.
Right.
Okay? I can actually order food and stuff, and she can't even get out of the restaurant. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so that stuff. Golly, man. With the stuff we do, all of us, man. You guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it feel, everybody? Tell everybody to be completely free, John. You did it.
Oh, it's amazing. It feels so good. 6.5 years is a long time to really...
A lot happened during that.
A lot happened. That's a huge amount of life that happened. We stayed the course. It's worth it 100%. That's our son.
Great shot.
Oh man, it was great. We went to the lake. That was one of the things we did afterwards. We got both sides of the family. We went to the lake.
The kiddo in the Adirondack chair. All right, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. You are on your way, and a copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give that to somebody, inspire them to move in the direction you have of freedom. Way to go. Financial Peace University for a year. Membership to that. $300,000 paid off in 6.5 years. Quite a story, making 100 to 200. John and Emily from Lafayette, Indiana, or Lafayette, depending on where you're from. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Yeah! That's how it's done, boys and girls. You gotta love it. This is the Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Caroline is with us in Chicago. Hi, Caroline. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm really excited to say that we are in baby step 3. We just kicked a lot of debt to the curb, and looking forward, I'm exploring another master's degree. And I really don't want to go back into baby step 2. And
Good.
So
what are you studying? What's your master's going to be in?
It would be in educational leadership.
Cool. What's the first master's in?
I'm a reading specialist.
Oh, good. Oh, man, what great degrees.
Yeah.
What
do you want to do with the extra masters?
My own administrators, my own bosses have really been encouraging me to take this path. It's something that many have suggested to me kind of along my career, and I never really thought of it as an option because we were still carrying so much debt from our undergraduate and my first master's degree. And so now that that's behind us, it just seems like these doors keep opening, and I want to be able to go down to that next route.
I love it.
So,
what's it cost?
I think it's going to be about $20,000 for a 2-year program, which
that's
I think is really reasonable.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I think it's very reasonable, and it's a cohort, which is awesome because you just build a community of learners around you. And again, like I said,
they'll be lifelong friends. They'll be lifelong friends because you're so specialized and nuanced, and you've got a heart for a certain thing. You'll be knit together forever. That's wonderful.
Right. So I've been looking for scholarships because my own children are about 2 to 3 years away from college themselves. And so we've had a lot of conversations about going to college debt-free and not taking on loans. And so now is my turn to kind of practice what we're preaching. And so I've been exploring a lot of different websites and financial aid finders and starting the process of applying to different scholarships. And my question is kind of twofold. Like, one, at this point, because we are debt-free, we are able to kind of cash flow at least the fall semester and see where that takes me after it. But by doing that, we kind of slow down our process of moving into, finishing baby step 3 and then moving into, 4, 5, and 6. So we have good momentum. I don't really want to slow that down right now. But most of the grants and scholarships that I'm finding are really geared towards undergraduates for understandable reasons. And so I'm wondering if you would advise or give any resources towards graduate program specific financial scholarships, or would you just say, you know what, this is, a sinking fund and, continue to cash flow because you can?
Well, I would definitely continue to explore both options. I think it's awesome that you already see that you can pay for the fall, that you're able to cash flow that and save, and also continue to search for scholarships. You said that your bosses are really interested in you going back for this program. Have you talked to them at all about possible tuition assistance or helping you out with that?
I have. That's a great question. I have, and some school districts do have reimbursement programs are available, but at this time, my district does not. I have asked that question. It really comes down to negotiations between the district and the teachers union, if that is included in next year's contract or not. So
okay.
That's as much as they can do. And I also did ask the university, the woman who's leading the cohort, if knowing that we're not being reimbursed, because there will be other people in the cohort whose districts are reimbursing them. I said, knowing that my district is not, is there any flexibility here? Or is there any other, wiggle room? And she said no. So
hey, that's a great question, though. It's yes. I mean, I've always said, shame on me if I don't ask. It's worth giving it a shot. So good on that. Are you set on a specific school? It sounds like you've already picked the university.
I have, because it's a cohort and it's kind of supported, with, other school districts in my area.
What's your household income?
About $250.
Okay, just pay for it. I mean, you can search around, poke around for scholarships, but you can afford it.
Right. We can. I guess my concern is we'll really slow down achieving like baby step 3.
No, you're not much. I mean, you may slow down going out to eat, but you're not going to slow down baby step 3.
Right.
I mean, you make $250,000 a year. Baby step 3, you knock it out. It's only 20 grand.
Yeah, we hope to be there by December. So.
Yeah, I mean, you should be.
Well, and it's 20 grand over 2 years.
How much are you putting in your emergency fund? What's your target?
We want to have about $35,000 in it.
Okay, $35,000 and $20,000 to pay for the whole program is $55,000 out of $250,000. I'm doing big math here, and I'm not having trouble with this.
Right. I think we feel really behind on retirement and our own, saving for our own college tuition for our own children.
I think, so here's the thing. Okay, we're trying to get you through a 2-year program. We're trying to get them through a 4-year program that hasn't even started yet.
Right.
And you've got the income to do this. So you may need to, put some distant future things, turn them down a little bit, turn this up a little bit, and then, do some adjustment back and forth. But you've got the cash flow to do all 3 of these things. Send your kids to school, yourself to school, and finish the emergency fund. And you've got the money to do it in short order. But you're going to have to really look at other stuff in your budget and go, where's the $250,000 a year going that I can't find 50 grand? And when you do that, then you start going, there it is, and there it is, and there it is, and we're done. We got that beefed up, and that beefed up, and that beefed up. It can go away. I mean, $250,000, you can spend it pretty quick. It's not, but I'm not saying you're being wasteful or something like that. But what you are going to do is, it might be that we light pedal kiddos' college right now, savings, heavy pedal the emergency fund, finish the emergency fund, and get your tuition, keep your tuition moving along in the budget, and talk to your university again. Go above the lady's head that said there's no help. I'm paying cash for this out of my pocket. I want a discount for cash, not I'm pitiful, they don't give me reimbursement. Dadgum, people, I'm giving you money. Give me a deal. And mess with them a little bit. I mean, just bust up into, I'm thinking it's good for higher ed people to hear occasionally that they're overpriced.
Right. They probably need to hear it more because a lot of people are struggling with that. And there are grad school scholarships, like you said, that they're a little bit harder to find than undergrad.
They're hard.
Yeah, it's more competitive and, it just takes a bit of research. But on this income, I'm with Dave. I would say just go ahead and cash flow it because in the amount of time you're going to spend researching and applying for scholarships, y'all are making so much money that you should be able to pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go searching for some of them, that's fine. They are more of a needle in a haystack. I think you're going to have more. I would call the president of that university and just mess with them. I mean, one more time, like you said, shame on me for not asking. But even if you got a 10% discount, it's $2,000. It's worth a phone call. But I mean, so what's my discount for cash again? Oh, nothing. Wait a minute. That doesn't work for me. And just have this conversation. Be a little bit sassy with it. It's kind of fun. Because they don't ever have people do that, and it sets them back on their heels. People go, oh, I'm so thankful I got in. What? I got the opportunity to give you people money? Oh, I'm thankful for that. That isn't that interesting how we've gotten this whole thing reversed? So, where if you were going in to buy a car, you'd negotiate their dadgum hat off, I mean, oh, my gosh. So I'm going to mess with them, and I'm going to cash flow it if I'm in your shoes. You are doing the right thing. I love your degree field. I love it's a cohort. Like I said earlier, I think those will be friends for life, not just, I mean, it's like the best kind of fraternity. It didn't involve over drinking. It involved over studying. And so, this kind of stuff. So it's really good.
Right. And I know it's a cohort, but there are other schools that have cohort programs. And some of these other schools actually have fully funded grad programs. And I don't know where you are locationally and if there's schools in that region, but there are a lot of programs that are fully funded. So, don't get so
Even
sad.
If you didn't go there, I'd go find one of those and wave it under this president's nose and go, hey, I'm about to leave.
Right.
Got other choices and you're not it. And see what they do.
Yeah, one more thought is you have a master's degree. Also look into an EDD program because you may be qualified for that. You can kind of kill two birds with one stone, getting to the next level.
That's interesting. I wonder if the state had any reimbursement, even if the local teachers don't. I doubt it.
Can always look.
Always turn over some rocks. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Zach is in Findlay, Ohio to start off this hour. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir. How are you doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up in your world?
Oh, my wife and I have been reviewing our financial picture, and we were curious if we might be contributing too much to our traditional 401k, and we're curious on your perspective.
Okay. How much are you putting in there?
Last year I contributed to the max, so $20,500 or $19,500. I can't remember when the change was, but it was the max. $6,000 of that was to the Roth, and then the remaining would have been to traditional 401k. And then my wife's contribution would have been $18,000, all going to traditional 401k.
Okay. Now you can do Roth 401k and a Roth personal. There's no prohibition on that.
Sure, yep. And we're
what's your household income?
Well, I was just going to explain that. We're pulling in over $340 a year, and so we're in a position where we can't contribute to a Roth independent of what's offered through our employer unless we backdoor it.
Yeah, you can just do a backdoor Roth. That's what I do. So, okay. All right, so 20. So what percentage of your income are you putting into retirement when you add it all up? Have you figured that out?
Not directly.
So 20, you're doing 20, and she's doing 19 plus 8? No?
She's doing 18 total. So our total contribution that we're putting in would be about $38.5 a year.
And 15% would be 45.
Correct. Yep. So we need to, so what I'm hearing in this is then we would need to be bumping up contributions outside of our traditional then, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we tell folks that baby step 4, I assume you're out of debt and have an emergency fund, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Baby step 4 is 15% of your income into retirement, 5's kids college, and anything we can find in the budget beyond that, we pay off the house with baby step 6, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. You guys are doing great, though. That's awesome. I think just that little tweak, and you guys are going to be really set in a good spot.
What made you think you were putting too much in?
When we were projecting out what our balances would be when we get to retirement,
yeah, you're going to be really rich.
Big.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of money.
Yep, we will. And what this started for us was a conversation about how do we retire early?
Yeah.
And then if all our money is tied up in some type of program where we can't touch it without penalties, then we need to create a gap fund.
Okay. So maybe if I'm fine with that, or bridge fund, whatever we want to call them, the 45. How old are you?
38.
Yeah. So 45 to, how do I get from 45 to 59 and a half? If I wanted to retire early and get to some of that money. Yeah, if you want to do some low turnover mutual funds and call that part of your 15% instead of doing the backdoor Roths, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But the point being that you're setting aside for your future. Can I save too much? I don't know. Can you be too rich? I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. No, you really can't, because the richer you are, the more generous you can be, the more people you can help, and the more margin you've got, and the better your sense of humor is, and all that, hypothetically, assuming you had one to start with. But yeah, I think you're right. But I wouldn't say we're only going to max out our 401k and then just dump the rest of it on the house and only be saving 10%. I'd be saving 15 into something, even if some of it's bridge or gap or whatever we want to call the fund, and just pick you a low turnover mutual fund like a something like an S&P 500 fund where there's hardly any taxes on it because it's all capital gains growth.
Sure. Yeah, some type of index fund then. Yep.
Yeah, that's an easy way, and it's a no commission way to get to a low turnover. You could check with SmartVestor Pro and have them show you some low turnovers that aren't indexes. I do both. I got a lot of low turnover money because I'm maxed out a long time ago on this other stuff, and then I'll use some of that low turnover money eventually and go buy a piece of real estate with it because I like real estate better than I like mutual funds. I like them both. I got a lot of money in both, but I'm an old real estate dog from way back, so I'm always going to go that way. Dirt just excites me. It's just ridiculous. So, that gives you a lot of options.
Yeah, and I love those conversations, even the conversation about early retirement. And the cool thing about working with a SmartVestor Pro is they can kind of map that out for you. So if your goal is to retire by 45, how much do you need to be saving right now
that's a good point.
In order to reach that goal?
That's like a financial plan and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be cool. That's very wise, Christina. I should have thought of that.
Gee, Dave.
No, really, I should have. That's really good. That's a really good insight, because actually what I'm always doing is big numbers on stuff. That's the way my brain works. And if he'll sit down and actually map the thing out in detail like you're suggesting, it gives you a whole different track to run on that my big number math won't do.
Right.
So I'm good with that. You may even want to back it down further on your traditional if it hits you to your gap or your bridge goal faster. As long as you're putting 15% of your income aside for your future, mean, we can define it as early retirement, and we can define it as 59 and a half and beyond retirement. We always want to do match first, Roth second, traditional third when we can. And so the beauty of these low turnover mutual funds, tax efficient accounts, sometimes people call them, or tax managed accounts, is that when you do cash it out, if it's sat in there more than a year, it's taxed at capital gains rate. That's 15%, awesome. Rather than taxed at, and I mean, if you're making over 400, it's going to be more than that. But if you're making a normal income, it's a low tax when you do. Where if you put it in like an annuity, where you don't pay taxes on it, but you can get it out later, if you want to screw around with that, you're going to be taxed at ordinary income rate when you take it out. So, and that's, it's the difference in 30%, 15%, or 35%, or 38%, 15%. So it's very tax efficient to do these low turnovers once you've maxed out other stuff, or when you've got a short of 59 and a half goal, like an early retirement goal.
Yeah, well, at $340,000, it feels like they can probably do both.
They can do a lot.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do a whole lot. They'll be able to go a lot of directions here.
It's impressive.
They're doing very well.
Yeah.
That's a sharp guy, man. Very cool.
Just keep diving into the plan, laying it out, and just getting on it.
Cool. This is the Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author. Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. If you haven't heard the news, the sky is not falling. The real estate world is not crashing. It is slowed down. There's a difference between a slowdown and a crash. Here's the thing. If you're at a... you ever been on one of those things, NASCAR experience? You get in the car and you're going 500 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour, whatever it is you go, and then you stop and you get in your car to drive home at 55, it feels like you're walking after having gone 200. Well, the real estate market was going 200 miles an hour. Now it's slowed down to like normal speed, and it feels like you're walking. You've got your systems in shock. And so everybody's going, it's crashing, the world's coming to an end, oh my God, put it on TikTok and let's see what the TikTok economists say, because they know what's going on. Oh, brother, geez, please, people, seriously. Unbelievable. Calm your butt down. You just got off a NASCAR ride and you're just driving home. That's all it is. Seriously, this is cray-cray. So that's what's going on. If you want to know what's really happening with the actual data, which the data is your speedometer, says I'm going 55, I'm not stopped, and I'm not in reverse. That's what the data tells you. Your emotions, however, are still all hyped up and geared up because you were in a car going 200. So you want a reality check on this? You can watch the replay of our 1 hour streaming that we did. Several 100,000 people, I think it's approaching 500,000 people have now viewed this. If you want to know what's going on, it's all the data. I actually do something I hardly ever do. I completely nerd it out. And I did my Professor Dave, as Rachel called it, routine. But, the data is where we get these principles, people, that we teach. It's not, we don't just like, let's just make this up. It's not what we do. So, RamseySolutions.com/reality check and watch the free free reality check on real estate. It's a free live stream. Don't miss it.
So good.
Question of the day comes from Blinds.com. 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Sarah in Connecticut. My parents aren't helping me with college funds, and I don't want to take a gap year or go to community college. I have a 3.3 GPA, so I'm not getting any scholarships. I have $5,000 saved so far, and I will graduate from high school next year. How do I pay for college with no debt in these circumstances? Well, Sarah, my first question is just why no community college? That's a lot of states have free community college at this point, and it's a great way to get started. Once you graduate from a 4-year school, your employer's not asking, did you start at community college and then go on to a 4-year school? You get your 4-year degree. So it's a great way to save money. I would just encourage you to maybe open up your mind to that. Beyond that, there's tuition assistance programs, which I just absolutely love. A lot of companies are now helping people not only make an income and pay for their regular expenses, but they're also helping them pay for college. So companies like Starbucks, Amazon, Walmart, Chipotle, Dollywood, Disney, these all have really awesome programs where you can work, get experience, and pay for college. So,
one of the first ones I ran into was UPS.
Oh.
In Louisville. They if you work for UPS loading trucks, they'll pay for your school.
That's awesome.
100%.
Well, they pay well.
Yeah,
in general.
So you load trucks, make good money. It's hard work, 20 hours a week, and you go to school full time, and they pay for it. That's pretty freaking incredible. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so shut up. I mean, join UPS. It's not the Army. It's Big Brown. Load the truck, man. I mean, come on.
That's incredible. Yeah, and I mean, their hourly rate is great. So it's like this is a win-win.
A lot of these you mentioned are $25, $30 an hour, and they'll pay for school or a portion of tuition anyway. Yeah. There's a bunch of because they're having they've got hiring problems, and so they're doing stuff to get people in the door. And you're in yeah.
I'd also just challenge you on the idea that you're not going to get any scholarships.
There you go.
Yeah, because 3.3 GPA, like you're still in the running. A lot of scholarships, they're not just looking for perfect students. There's a lot of niche scholarships in different areas. So there's scholarships pretty much given away for everything at this point. There are vegetarian scholarships. There's this amazing golf caddy scholarship where they give away full ride scholarships for being a golf caddy. There's a scholarship for having the best peanut butter sandwich recipe. So
no. Who is that by? Like Jiffy or somebody?
I think it is. It's
no
one
way.
of the peanut butter companies.
That's pretty cool.
So there's scholarships for almost everything. And the thing that I want to encourage people to think about is that scholarships, they're given away by people. Like a lot of people create foundations that then they create a scholarship. And a lot of people who are super successful down the road, they didn't have perfect grades in high school. So they're open to picking people who are similar to them. They want to pick people who maybe, have incredible potential but don't necessarily have a 4.0.
Hundreds of millions of dollars of scholarships that are not income-based, they're not academic-based, and they're not sports-based.
Right.
And so hundreds of millions.
And they're not just for perfect students. So don't write yourself off.
There's probably actually a scholarship for not perfect students.
Yeah, I actually saw one.
Probably named that.
There's actually a scholarship out there that was for average students. I saw one recently that it's like you had to have a C average to apply for that scholarship.
That's pitiful.
Well, but the guy who created this scholarship
had a C average. I get it.
And he became a millionaire.
Yeah, and so now a multimillionaire. Yeah,
right.
Because he figured out it wasn't where he went to school. So, hey, Sarah, I'm going to pick on you a little bit, too. I don't want to take a gap year or go to community college. I just want to go where I want to go, and it doesn't matter if I have to borrow money. Listen, this sounds a little whiny. Go get some scholarships, get 3 jobs or both, or go to community college. But don't try to box it into where only way I get to live my dream is you're being a drama queen, kiddo. I mean, there's a part of that in this I'm reading in there. You start telling me all the things you don't want to do and that you can't do because you've only got a 3.3. And all of this leads up to the only way I get to do what I want to do is in my circumstances that I have boxed myself into, well, don't have to.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's a huge factor that's at the core of the student loan debt crisis.
The number one problem
Yep.
is college choice.
Yep.
where you go to school is because I mean, University of Tennessee, $12,000 a year tuition. Vanderbilt, how much?
Like cost of attendance is around $70,000.
Yeah, but I mean, tuition this year, $56,000, I think.
Ugh, yeah.
Okay, and Vanderbilt's a great school. And if you got $56,000 or you got scholarships like you did, you went and got a degree there. But it was all paid for by scholarships. That's all great. That's fine. But if you're writing a check for 12 versus 56, and you think you got something for the difference in 12 versus 56 at Vanderbilt, you didn't.
Or even worse, if
You
you're
didn't.
taking out student loans.
Because
for
I
that
graduated from Tennessee, and people that work for Vanderbilt, went to Vanderbilt, work for me. So you didn't get what you thought you were going to get there, people. That's just how that works, all right? So, there's a trade-off, in other words. And this idea that you go to this famous school, and it's like, I went to so-and-so, and you have to wear an ascot, or some kind of crap. That's just BS, all right? Or I want to go across the state line because the school has pretty trees on the campus. One girl actually told me that.
Oof.
She said the campus at the University of Mississippi is a beautiful campus. It has big trees. You're kidding me. This is how you select your academic endeavor. There's a problem here, child. Where is your parents?
I loved my time at Vanderbilt.
No.
But it was
I'm not
debt-free.
trashing Vanderbilt.
Debt-free. If you can pay for it,
Absolutely.
great. If you can pay for your dream school, debt-free, awesome. But if it involves student loans or if you're backed into a corner like this, you got to think outside the box.
We got a family member that was valedictorian or salutatorian or whatever, got a free ride at Vandy for undergrad, went on to be a very successful lawyer. It's a wonderful school. I'm not mad about it. But don't please tell me with a straight face that it's worth 5x to go there, what it is to go to your in-state school. That's complete BS. So school choice matters a lot, like community college, Sarah. So now that's me picking on you, kiddo, because I love you. This is The Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, on the debt-free stage, Timothy joins us. Hey, Timothy, how are you?
Hey, Dave, great. Thanks for having me.
I'm honored to have you, sir. Where do you live?
I live in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, fun. Great. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt did you pay off, sir?
Right around $300,000 in about six and a half years.
Good for you, man. Well done. And your range of income during that time?
Oh, 110, 125.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
Nothing. I'm retired.
Nice. Were you you make 125 while you're retired?
Well, just retired. So.
Oh, okay. What were you doing? What was your career?
I started in engineering, became a manager, and I polished off a 22-year teaching career.
Oh,
so
very good. Good for you. Well done. So I'm going to guess and say with that amount of money over that period of time, you paid off your house?
I did.
Oh, look at it, a weirdo.
Thank
Way
you.
to go, man.
Thank you.
What's this house worth these days?
I'd say it's about 4.5.
Good for you. How much you got in retirement?
3.2.
Thus the retirement. I like it. So how much of this did you inherit?
None. I had a few gifts along the way. My folks were very, very gracious in giving me a property that was distressed that I fixed up and turned into a rental property. And I've sort of picked that up and done that for 30 years. And that's been my side hustle in addition to my professional working career.
So what was that property worth that they gifted you?
Well,
At the time.
At the time, it was about 50.
Okay, so you're not a millionaire because of that.
No.
A multimillionaire.
Right.
You're a multimillionaire because you systematically saved.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure, because people say all millionaires inherited their money, and I just want to make sure that people realize that you are not there because of that. You got a nice gift. That was a nice thing, but it isn't the reason you're where you are.
I took that property and it was distressed and turned it into a winner. So
yeah, absolutely.
But the skills I did that with came from my parents, who were in real estate and had managed properties themselves, and so I saw the picture of you mowing as a kid.
Yeah, you too.
That's pretty much how I started my life before I became a
So you want your kid to be a millionaire? Teach them to work.
That's right.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Who knew?
Well, I'd say, the best summer I ever had was probably mowing lawns. And I remember walking home with $100 in cash when I was, probably 19 years old. And I just thought, what? That was when I think in 1979, I think the minimum wage was $235, $265, and I'm teaching swim lessons during the day, and then mowing lawns in the afternoon, and walking home with $100 cash, and that's like 3 paychecks for a lifeguard.
Yeah.
So
when I was a little kid, I was like 12 or 14. I was a math nerd, so I'm as bad as you. I'd be mowing grass, and while I was mowing, I would increase the speed, so because I wanted to earn more than 3 times what my buddies were making flopping Whoppers at Burger King.
Right.
And I said, if I'm not going to be a Whopper flopper. I want to make 3 times the minimum wage. So I've got to cut this grass at that speed. And so I'm doing the math, because I'm a math nerd, while I'm mowing and weed eating. I got to get finished at a certain time. That way I can get my 3x of Burger King wages.
Well,
and that's how it all starts right there.
Yeah, I kept side hustling like that. I mean, I managed 3 rental properties, and I do most of the work myself, and mowing is just a great reward. It kind of takes me back to my roots and like why I got into this. I mean, I have
You're a better
professional
man
career.
than me. I quit mowing, man.
Yeah,
I quit. I just not. No, I mowed enough grass by the time I was 18. Never have to do it again. God said you don't have to.
Well, when you spend your days inside a classroom or on a computer, grass. And,
it's a release.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really nice to get out, but working for yourself is certainly the way to go, I think.
How old are you?
I'm 59.
Wow, you did so good.
Yeah, your story is impressive. What would you tell people is the key to getting out of debt and to also save as much as you have?
I think the journey needs to be purposeful. Like for me, it was like take responsibility for your happiness and don't blame others, and own failure, learn from it, study it, and just I always felt like if you know your weaknesses more than your strengths, that you're on the path to improving, and I also felt that part of the journey is for me, like I began my journey as an engineer, and I just wanted money.
Yeah.
And then I got into management, and I wanted power and prestige, and those are both very addictive and elixing sort of rewards. But as you grow older, I think you have to reshape what you work for. For me, it became play and purpose. Like teaching.
What is teaching what you're doing now for fun?
I quit. Well, I retired from teaching.
So what do you do now for fun?
I manage rental property, and I just sort of like, I potted with my parents during the pandemic, and we became best friends. And now it's like every day is about what we can do to sort of have fun and play and have purpose.
That's fun.
And then I just reflect on that sort of journey of what the rewards of work are for. But you also, I think it's important to enjoy your work too, and enjoy the journey. And whether it be, okay, money's great, power's great, prestige is great, but for me it ended up with play and purpose and the creativity. I think teachers spend a lot of time with purpose, but the playful way. Do you remember when you were young and you just learned for fun? That's sort of what I thought teaching was all about, and so I really enjoyed my career. But
this kind of wisdom, you need to be doing something to share it, dude.
Yeah.
You need to be doing something somewhere. You don't have to get back in the classroom. I'm going to send you back to work, but oh my gosh, you've done so well, and you got to share some of these messages. This is very good.
Thank you.
Very well done. Very, very well done. How's it feel to be $3.2 million in zero debt?
It feels like I thought it would. I mean, I think when you're young, you imagine your future self, and when you get to be this age, you reflect on your past self, like the childhood you had, and so those two, I think, sort of are talking to one another right now, saying, yeah, I knew I was going to be you, and yeah, I knew I was you.
Yeah.
And it's this play and purpose, they go hand in hand. I mean, when you do things for a reason and you give to others and you teach them how to overcome sort of their fear of failure and how to find their way and achieve things and do it in a creative way like you do, it gives back to you when you give that way.
Yeah.
So I would just say that it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter, which whatever that would be.
I'm looking forward to your next chapter. I think it's going to be awesome, man. You're amazing. You're a hero. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Dave.
Very,
Thanks,
very
Christine.
well done. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. You are one. And you will read about people just like you. And you can give it away to show somebody that this is how it's done, because you are a classic example. You're above average example, but well done, very well done.
So much wisdom.
Yeah, and a copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give that away and inspire somebody. Financial Peace University will give you a 1-year membership to that as well, and I would imagine I see you giving that away as well. So you never know where you're going to be able to spread this wisdom. Very well done, Timothy. Beautiful job, man. You're a stud. Absolutely cool. All right, count it down. $300,000 paid off in 6.5 years, making 110 to 125. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Okay, don't miss that. Number one career in the largest study of millionaires ever done that we did at Ramsey, airtight research, number one career, more than any other career showed up for millionaires, was engineer. Number 3 was teacher. He was both with a $3.2 million net worth. Don't miss this. Don't miss it, okay? There's a lesson in there. You don't have to be an engineer or a teacher, but what is it about those people? They're process people. They stick to a system. They work a system, and they don't question the law of physics. It works this way, do it this way. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Thessalonians 1:3, we remember before our God and Father your work produced by faith, your labor prompted by love, and your endurance inspired by hope in our Lord Jesus Christ. Christopher Reeve said, once you choose hope, anything is possible. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Cameron is in Houston. Hi, Cameron. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Christina. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
We're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, but I feel like we're a little stuck in neutral. My wife is very concerned about using a financial advisor. She thinks she's heard too many horror stories of people losing everything from other people handling their money. But I've told her I'm in need of additional guidance, and I want to maximize our finances moving forward. Do you have any advice for helping assuage her concerns or anything that I could tell her or discuss with her that might help us move forward?
I love that she's cautious about this. Okay? There are two kinds of fear. The fear that keeps you from playing kickball in the middle of the interstate where there's 18-wheelers or touching a hot stove. Those are good fears, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, fears that make you wary of crooks are good fears. And I will tell you this, truthfully, the thing that scares me more than crooks are well-intentioned ignoramuses that are enthusiastic. They will screw you up with money more often and screw you up in life more often than actual crooks because there are more of them. And so I love her caution in that. The other kind of fear is false evidence appearing real. I once heard about a family that had a car wreck, and so I refused to drive a car.
Okay.
Well, that's where she is.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you solve that for someone that has this fear that is based in a good kind of cautious wisdom, but has gone too far? The only way I know to solve it is with information. Now, the way I would do that is this. If it was my wife, I would say, okay, you know what? I completely understand, because, by the way, I do. I can say this truthfully. I completely understand that people sometimes get completely ripped off by people in the financial world, because sometimes they do. But I do know there are some good people in that world that also help people, and I don't know how to do this without some help. And so what I'm asking of you is not that we invest money with someone, not that we make the decision to use an advisor, but that you agree to do 3 meetings with an advisor or advisors to learn about that industry, because you and I don't know about it. All I'm asking you to go is to listen and to learn. If at the end of that you remain completely opposed to it, then we'll deal with that. Because here's the thing. There's more regulations on those guys, dude, than there is on banks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, they are so regulated out the yin-yang, it's unbelievable. I don't know how they get any work done for the stupid feds sticking in their ear hole all the time. It's nuts. Okay? I mean, they have to give you a prospectus that says you're going to lose all your money in the first 17 pages before you can even see the actual investment analysis behind it. And this is an investment that's been open 85 years and has not had but 5 down years. But you still have to say you're going to lose all your money. And they make you say stupid butt stuff like, past performance is not indicative of future performance. Of course it is. That's dumber than crap. But they make you say stuff like that. You know, of course it is. It's not a guarantee of future performance, but it's the only way you do forecasting in investments or business. You have to use past performance to do it. So anyway, my point is, when you get in there with a good financial advisor and say, just tell them the truth. She's scared because she thinks there's so many crooks in this business, and tell them ahead of time. Show us what the safeguards are. Tell us how the industry works to protect us if you're a crook.
Okay.
And if they're offended by you saying that, get out of their office. Because if I was in that business, I would love to have this conversation and tell the uninitiated how regulated that world is. It's nuts. But anyway, all that to say, I think the other thing that'll happen as a sidebar is she'll see a human being. That she will sense with her spirit is a good person or is a bad person.
Okay.
And you've got to trust her when she says that.
Absolutely. Now, all of our meetings so far have been over the phone, but we do have some in-person meetings scheduled soon.
Yeah.
So I think this will be a good way to do it. If we show us the safeguards, might be the best way to.
No, just tell them the truth. She does not want to do this because she's afraid of all the crooks in the business and the stupid people in the business. Tell us why you're not that, or that's not. Meet with our SmartVestor pros if you can, dude. Click on RamseySolutions.com, get with some of them, because they will relish, because they have the heart of a teacher, and this is like you're going to give them the opportunity to do what they love to talk about.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of the vetting too, so we're only going to recommend people that we trust.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will help us along.
It always scares me when we do that, because sometimes people will go in there and do business with them just because we trust them. I would rather you trust them. You vet them. You get in there. But, I mean, we vetted them. We feel good about them. And one of the things we vetted is they're going to have the heart of a teacher. And so just, what are the types of investments I should be scared of? What are the types of people I should be scared of? And how does that work? And I'm really scared, and I don't even want to be here. I would encourage her to say all of that. And if they raise their hackles up and are offended, get out of their office. Don't use them.
Okay.
Because I think a good one will say, rise to the challenge on this and go, thank you for letting me tell people how this all works, because I don't get to tell many people how screwed up our business is by the few crooks that are out there. Because truthfully, there's a lot more crooks in the real estate business than there are in the financial business, because real estate business is relatively unregulated. I mean, there's a little bit of regulation, but not much. And there's not many crooks in the real estate business either. It's there, you're not taking people's money there. You're just doing a transaction most of the time. So, but I mean, golly,
I think a lot of
it
people.
is so. I mean, and there's a lot more idiots in the banking world, 1,000 times more idiots than there are in the financial advising world, because the tests are so hard to get in there, number one, but number it just requires a level of intellect to get in there, gray matter, and you don't have to do that to work in a bank.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people get into these situations and they feel like they're being interviewed. They sit down with an advisor or a real estate agent and they feel like, oh gosh, I got to be interviewed. But it's like, you are still hiring that person. Like, you get to ask questions. You get to dig deeper.
Yeah, and you feel inept because you don't know. Right. I mean, anytime you go in a situation and the expert is there, you feel like But man, I tell you what, the best thing ever happened to me in my life is I learned to bow up on those people and make them prove themselves, and by teaching me. Right. Like, you don't need to be my lawyer if you can't teach me how we're going to win. You don't need to be my tax guy if you can't teach me why we're doing this and what's going on. I don't have to be as good as you. I don't have to know everything you know, but you got to be able to transfer the knowledge enough that I get comfort, because I'm not doing it because you said so. You ain't my daddy.
Right.
I said so. Bull crap. My money. We're not doing that. So that's the thing. You got to get to there. And I love his wife's spirit for that reason. I think it'll lead them to really good, solid, conservative investments that they won't get screwed on. That's a wonderful thing. So, folks, you're always looking for someone with the heart of a teacher.
Yes.
If they're condescending or they're offended by you asking hard questions, which is a form of arrogance or condescension, if they expect you to do stuff just because they said so, you got the wrong people. Whether it's mortgage people, real estate people, insurance people, lawyers, financial advisors, you're looking for the heart of a teacher around the financial world. And I got to tell you, more people learn how to sell in the financial world than learn how to teach. So the teachers are harder to find, and that's the only people I work with, the only people I'd tell you to work with.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Be willing to look around, ask those hard questions, and really explore for yourself. I love her heart that she wants to see.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good place to be in. It's a healthy, there's the unhealthy side of fear that makes her maybe not want an advisor, but being cautious and going in and interviewing people, that's wisdom.
Yeah. Instead of just going, I turn it all over to my man.
That goes to my
church.
And
the man lost the money. No, you are the man. You don't turn it over. You get somebody to advise. You're in charge. So I love, she's sitting in the driver's seat, man. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good job, Christina, today. Good job to James, Andrew, Zach, Ben, Austin in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Have you been inspired to make a change with your money? Want to know where to start? Take our 3-minute money quiz to get a plan you can follow. Go to RamseySolutions.com and search for Get Started to get a plan for your money.